Let's see how you do under pressure. Yeah, I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Yeah, ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm I get to the paper, boy. Extra. Fuck with me, you know that I got it.
Yo, what is up, everyone, and welcome back to Life by the Horns, sponsored by Best Life Group, Atlanta's #1 small business growth partner. Blake and Dustin back with you guys again, and dude, I am pumped to talk about today's topic. So, you know, the unsexy topic of today is SEO, man, search engine optimization. Who the hell wants to talk about SEO, man? SEO is a dying breed. It's a dying art. It is black magic, or that's what they tell us, right?
Correct. Yeah, it's definitely something that everybody believes that they need. They don't know enough about it. When they pay for it, they don't think they're getting really anything in return. And the reality is sometimes that does happen with certain agencies. But yeah, I think what we're going to talk about today should be a little bit enlightening, but also funny because we had a pretty comical
We had a good laugh.
experience here. Yeah,
We had a good laugh.
it was good. So
we're stabbing SEO right in the back, man. We're taking a knife and we're gutting that shit. And we've brought up something that we think is super cool, super unique, that is far superior to SEO, and I think is really going to help businesses really grow and scale, especially with AI and all these different tools that are available to us. And it's called SXO, or SEXO. Stands for Search Experience Optimization. So I know you were at the gym one day, man. You thought of this and you're like, hey, I want to get this out there. So talk to me, man. What is Search Experience Optimization?
Well, I didn't create it or come up with it, actually. And to back up a little bit to your point, Blake, why I guess SEO isn't as relevant or important as it was before. And the reality is that over the years, as Google's continued to do algorithm updates, there's been just a consistent trend in a focus on user experience. It's not just about getting people to the site. So former SEOs are ones that were really good at that craft. I mean, everything that they were doing was, how do I, tickle the pixel or whatever you want to call it with Google, and make sure that Google is satisfied with the information that is on page. But the reality of that is that even if you double your traffic and no one converts on those pages, you haven't really done anything. You've just pissed a bunch of people off. So Google and everything that it does and paying attention to every user metric. And actually, let me back up just a tad. If everybody understood that the reality of Google's job was to satisfy searchers' intent, and that's the only way that they make money is by satisfying that intent and getting people to click on ads. If they didn't do a good job of that, people would use DuckDuckGo and other things. So the reason that they track all this data and everything they do is because they're like, hey, if people don't use our platform, then we won't make money, we'll go away. So by tracking all of this stuff, though, in time, they have realized that, hey, it is super important to get people to the site, but it's even more important to have the actual users land inside of sites that give them the information that they want and perform whatever desired action it is that the website's also looking for. So over the last many years, the big shift has been, hey, we need to pay attention to things like website speed. If we can get people to a great site and it takes way too long for it to load, they are going to leave. We need to pay attention to things like website navigations and fluidity in the site, page layouts, titles that increase click-through rates and those kind of things. So all that stuff is being way more taken into account. So with that, there has been a huge emphasis inside of a lot of agencies to, hey, let's pay attention to user experience, or what you had referenced, Blake, search experience optimization. The funny thing that someone else has probably come up with it before, but what happened the other day, I'm having a conversation with Heather on our team, and she is just 6 hours in to trying to fix something. And I'm like, Heather, at this point, you're doing front-end development. We're paying attention to all things experience. You're sprinkling everything you know as far as search engine optimization is concerned as well. Like, what you were doing is not just SEO. And I was sitting there like frustrated for a second because I'm like, man, we do a really terrible job as a company letting our customers know what we're doing. We sell them what they're asking for, but we're not actually telling them everything that we're doing behind the scenes to make it even better. And there's always been a big emphasis from our team on making sure user experience was also fantastic from the SEO team. So yeah, I'm sitting at the gym, and I was at a conference a couple of weeks ago, and part of the conference they discussed coining acronyms that are super memorable. And so I'm listening to this presentation, and I'm at the gym, and I'm like, well, I mean, we do SEO, we do SXO. Like, what could we call that? Like customer conversion optimization. And I'm rattling all these ideas around in my head. And I'm about to get up and do another set of squats. And I'm like, oh my God, I've got it. SEXO. It's search engine and experience optimization. And so I start typing up freaking puns for ad copy. I sent you and Jarvis the thought and the idea and some initial copy. I got here, put together a video ad, and then our in-house team.
Dude, I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was so funny, and I might just want to preface for the listeners why this is so funny. Because like SEXO, I mean, us Americans, we're just like, it's funny, it's comical, it's witty, right? There's a few people on the team who are Spanish speaking and native Spanish speakers, right? And so why that's funny is because SEXO is sex in Spanish. So continue on with what you're going to say, because, dude, it was hilarious to see their reaction.
Yeah. So knowing that this was the acronym we thought we were going to go with, immediately I'm like, okay, there's going to be sexual undertones to the marketing messaging and everything that we're doing, because our target audience would also think this is comical. So I put together this like 15-second video ad, and it starts out with like, you may know about SEO. And then it transitions to a slide of a lady like putting lipstick on, and it's like, but you may not know, her second or her cousin or something. And then it says SXO, and then she's like this, and then like dancing in the background and stuff. And then it talks about at the very end, the combination of the two being SEXO, and to contact us for more information, about our product, and satisfaction is guaranteed, which is also funny because the sex undertone that was there. And man, we were so pumped to share this with everybody in the morning. And yeah, our Latin American team is just like staring at it. A couple of them look uncomfortable. And then one of the guys on the team was like, man, there's a lot of competition in this space. Like, this is going to be tough. Another member of the team was like, this is going to be an uphill battle. And like, God, we get out of the meeting, and I'm talking to the team here. I'm like, man, why did this not go over well? It went over like a lead balloon. And our head of SEO starts messaging one of the team members here, and he's just like, hey, like, are you guys serious about doing this campaign? Because we're going to get a lot of unintended traffic that we don't want. And I don't know if we want to have this associated with the BLG brand. And I'm like, what are these guys talking about? And then finally, he lets us know that, hey, this, literally translates to sex in Spanish. I'm like, oh, well, okay. And then I went and did a couple of searches on my phone for SEXO. And sure enough, I mean, the only thing you find is just a complete like smut and garbage. So I was like, oh, this is not great. But no, man, it was funny. That's for damn sure.
You know what, man? If you're not stirring up controversy, even if it's with your own team, what are you even doing? And that's marketing, man. It's all about attention. So, not saying we're going to run with SEXO, but I think it was definitely a witty idea for sure.
We've been talking about it more in-house, and I'm like, look, I'm super comfortable saying we put the X in SEO, and then showing that, the combination of the two is super important. And then explaining it to people. And if somebody gets super offended because it says SEXO in Spanish, then probably wouldn't love us anyway. So, but no, man, it was good. It was good. And it's definitely something that I think that I know that any one that is looking for SEO as a service, they should be having conversations. So with people like, hey, outside of satisfying Google, like what else are you going to be doing to my site in order to increase conversion rates? Which brings me to something we were, talking about right before we hopped on here.
Yeah, 100%. I think, whenever I speak to businesses, right, and I'm kind of doing like a full marketing audit, like the first thing that I look at is their website or their landing page where they're sending traffic, because no matter what, like even if I was to, absolutely crush the shit out of your SEO campaign and get you ranked for your most competitive keywords and start driving 10 to 20,000 visitors to your website per month, if it converts like crap, what's the point? And so I think where search experience optimization really begins is understanding the psychological customer journey that your prospects are on. So, for example, like, in Atlanta, if I'm looking for, a real estate agent and I want to rank for real estate agent Atlanta or best real estate agent Atlanta, cool. That's a great keyword to rank for. However, you got to remember the search intent behind why someone's punching that in.
Mm-hmm.
What are the psychological factors, motivating factors, deterrents, all those sorts of things that are in their head when they're typing that in, and following that exact customer journey through to your landing page or your website that emulates that same message, which is, okay, here are the problems that you have, or the concerns or roadblocks when choosing a real estate agent in Atlanta. And here are the things that we've done with all of our clients over X amount of years to help alleviate those problems or concerns. And here's why we can help you sell your home or help you into a brand new home. And I think that's where a lot of agencies miss the mark is, yeah, they might be great at SEO and getting you ranked, but they miss the SXO, which is the entire intent behind the decision on why someone's on Google typing that in.
Correct. And to be fair, they're two entirely different skills. I mean, they're entirely different. And I think one of the things that makes us unique is the fact, we had a nice long conversation about it this morning as well, especially with some of the things that we're going to do moving forward. But one of the things that makes us super unique is from the get-go, we spend time getting to know a brand and who they want to sound like, what their values are, what is different with their unique selling proposition compared to their competitors. And we take all that and truly start making the brand come to life in the copy and the things that are imbued on page. And then when you take that and marry it with SEO and create amazing experiences with SXO, that's when a company actually becomes a brand and something that people actually remember. Because it's not just words on a page that kind of in a vanilla way solve a problem. It's words on page that people can actually connect with.
100%. And I think the best analogy that I can come up with to simplify it is like SEO is like your home builder. He's going to build you a beautiful house, but it's the interior designer that turns that house into a home. And if you walk into someone's home, you'll always remember not what the outside looked like, but what the inside looked like. Almost 99.9% of the time.
Yeah, no, that's a good example. But no, I'm pumped, man. I think with what we're doing, and the results that we've gotten customers, I'm super pumped about what the future looks like for them, and for us. And I think the other thing that I'm super pumped about, that we've been talking about the last few days outside of SEO and SXO is, I am making a shift in a lot of my activity and things that I'll be doing at BLG so that we can spend more time podcasting. I can spend more time doing creatives and spend a lot more time as I used to with our customer set, just to make sure that, we can help get them to the next level a lot faster by helping them understand their brands better, coming up with better creatives. and then ultimately, getting them to the promised land, which is the goals and which is why they started with us and why they got into business in the first place. So,
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man, it's good to have you full your full creativity, 100% back on board with BLG, because I think we've really missed that and needed that, because you've got what I don't have, which is that very sort of creative mind. I'm just like a doer. I just kind of like, you tell me to do something, or I just want something, like I just point A to point B. But like, I think with you, being able to think outside the box and have those creative ideas, like, yeah, I definitely admire that. And I relish people that
yeah,
are able to be that way, for
yeah,
sure.
it's fun. It's fun, man. Like I even, yesterday was in a meeting early morning, and was sharing, with the guy, the whole SEXO thing and like what happened at the office and the team's reaction and everything. And I showed him the ads and he's like, dude, these are great. Like, I wouldn't change anything about this. He's like, and then we have two versions of him, and I showed him the copy and stuff, and he's like, man, I wouldn't back off of this. And so, I mean, was reassuring. And he even works with a lot of our target customers, and which was cool. But then I even showed because I mean, it's fun to take things that are boring and make them cool. And so I was showing our team members too some other ads that I created before for a dumpster company. And like, there is nothing cool or like, I mean, it's dumpsters, man. And I made an ad that was like the I don't know if you've ever seen this, but the um not GIF, but the thumbnail on the front was you could see it was a guy looking down into a toilet. And you're like, what is this? And then it says, it's the caption there was, when was the last time you took an epic dump? And then which is funny, right? And so you click on the thing and it shows the toilet spinning, and in the next scene, and it's like, when was the last time you had an epic dump? And it goes into the next scene and it says, like, if your house or job site looks like this, and there's shit all over, from a construction site that's going on.
Not literal shit.
No, like plywood and lumber and shingles and everything else. But it just transitions into actually what they're looking for.
Yeah.
But I remember when we published that ad, dude, the engagement was through the roof compared to anything else that we put out there. If we would put out, he was like, oh, I want ads that have a dumpster and then $15 off if they do online orders. I'm like, we can make these ultra vanilla ads like that, but man, I'd rather make something spicy that people remember. And so, and with, I mean, that one ad all by itself, like the click-through rate was about 10 times what the other ones were. We got way more reactions. And then by getting people actually to the site to see what we do in those landing pages, I mean, our retargeting efforts were just tenfold better than what they were before. So, but that's the whole name of the game, man. In marketing, is do something that's different, that's memorable, and is in line with, the values and the vision of the company, man. And that's, this whole SEXO thing will be interesting. I'm looking forward to how it turns out.
The dumpster company, did you retarget prospects with ads that said still need to take a dump?
No, I didn't. I probably should have, but no, it was it was a great campaign, and we've done a lot of really cool stuff like that in the former, but it takes creativity and it takes time to come up with that stuff. So that's what I'm so pumped about is we've developed some new partnerships recently with an awesome roofing company. And it's funny, like when you talk to some of these like home service guys, like they just don't see what they do as like, sexy, cool, fun, all those kind of things, but to then take that information that they share with us and make it all those things. Yeah, I'm super pumped about a lot of what's coming up.
It's fun, man. It's fun to, like I said, I wish I was more creative, but it's fun to see that creativity for clients, because marketing, man, it's not like, I mean, it can be for certain businesses, but it's not like like talking about SEO and Facebook ads. It's not like a super sexy, fun thing to talk about, but it can be fun with the right ideas. And I think any business has the ability to be creative and have fun with their marketing. And that's why I'm so excited about this new journey and the things that we're doing here at BLG, which is doing the SXO and making that the most integral, important part of any client's marketing journey when starting with us. So I'm super excited to see what we come up with.
Yeah, I think the reason though that most don't like talking about ads and SEO and marketing in general inside of especially smaller businesses is it's daunting and overwhelming, and it's an extension of who they are. And if you do it really poorly, I mean, your immediate thought is, oh man, that's a terrible ad for a fencing company. Like my immediate thought is they probably didn't really pay attention to it. They probably don't do a great job at installing fences themselves, or like bad marketing can actually be very bad for a company. But, and if they're not generally super creative, or don't have the technical capacity in the platforms, like, yeah, again, it's super daunting. But, you know, to sit down, like, man, we did this with a countertop company one time. I remember it's about a year ago, a little over a year ago. And we're going through, we call it a brand voice guide. And it's like 10 questions to kind of get to know who they are better, as far as the brand is concerned. And we got to the unique selling proposition side. And it's like, well, what makes you guys special and different? And they're like, well, I mean, there's like 30 other fabricators, or not fabricators, I'm sorry, granite and quartz countertop companies like within this market. I'm like, okay, well, what makes you better? And they're like, well, we generally can turn something around from initial estimate inquiry to installed within 7 to 10 days. I'm like, oh, and I was in the home service space. So I'm like, wait a minute, the average lead time, I remember it's like a month. Oh yeah, well, we do the fabrication in house, so that makes it so much faster. And out of the 200 different like products that we have to choose from, we can get almost all of them next day. So we start unpacking all of this stuff, and you're like, these guys have so many golden nuggets that we could use to market, and they're actually really great people. We could turn this thing around in a heartbeat and actually make these guys profitable. And so they're getting excited as we're talking about this. And then fast forward to now, I just talked to the gentleman the other day. We were going over some creative ideas, and he was just like, bro, I want to tell you something. We went from not being able to rub two nickels together to we've actually had $40,000 in profit every month the last 3 months. It's 120 grand for a small, what was a very small kitchen and bathroom countertop fabrication company. The only difference is that they actually invested in marketing. They made some great videos. Adam's super awesome on camera. And they just listened to the direction. And we used all of this really great content, their really great values. And I mean, all the great USPs and stuff they had in marketing muscle to drive this stuff into ads and just tell their story. I mean, we literally just tell their story, get in front of people, create awareness, push on the pain, which is, yeah, I want to get this done, but I don't want to wait a month or two. You know, and these guys were full service, like they could do plumbing reconnects, like the whole nine, like, and they're killing it. And stuff like that makes me super pumped. And I remember the other day being asked the question about the journey of BLG and, you know, what would my best life look like? And that's why we made this big transition over the last like week. The things that I loved the most were listening to businesses, helping them bring their brand to life and then achieve their goals. Like, it's not just driving traffic and clicks and all that shit. Like, there's a purpose for doing all that. And the purpose is, you know, to help them meet these goals. And, you know, it's just the whole reason why they started in business in the first place, man. They wanted to live a better life than they were working for somebody else.
Yeah, man, it's the greatest feeling, especially, you know, when you, like you alluded to, when you take a small business that, you know, might be doing 100 to 200K a year, and you take them to 7 figures, their first 8 figures. And it's just it's a cool thing, man. It's exciting because you were there at the beginning of their journey. It was the hardest thing for them at the time to, like you said, put 2 pennies together and be able to invest in this, and, you know, them to kind of take that leap of faith.
They believed in me and they believed in the team.
Yeah.
So they came to one of our mastermind summits and they really enjoyed it, but they were terrified of making the investment. Because the thought is
Yeah.
always, well, what if this doesn't work? And my commitment has always been that it will work. And if it doesn't work, like if we are not doing the work to produce the result, I am not going to charge you, even though I have to pay the team. If we're doing the work and we're not producing the result, I am not going to charge you. So he was like, well, I trust you. And that's a hell of a value add. Everybody else charges me for everything they do. I mean, even going to the doctor, the mechanic, or anything, man, you pay for the service still isn't great. They don't say, oh, my bad, and give you, they just, you come in and get more service done and pay for more. So, but no, the journey with this guy has been super great. I mean, I can't even think of all the like awesome people that we've worked with. I think our first client we ever had, we took from 600,000 to 1.2 million in 12 months. And then from
That's a
there
big
to
jump.
it is a big jump. And then from there, he went 1.6 the next year. Then he folded in 2 other businesses. No, I mean, this is the shit that I love. So, going back to, Jarvis asked me, like, what does your best life look like? It looks like doubling down on my time inside of here to help business owners achieve their goals faster, because that's what this is all about, man. Like I get excited about looking at metrics inside of, customer scorecards and seeing traffic increases and, what their return on ad spend is and all that kind of stuff. But I also know the reality of all those things and what it actually does for them in their life and how it helps them get to where they want to go. And I think that, I don't know, man, it's a blessing to be able to do what we do and do it really well. But with, us educating people on what SEXO is, this new offering of services that we're about to roll out, especially in our local market. We're about to take things to a whole new level that we haven't even seen yet.
And those of you listening who aren't on the BLG ride, let's just have a chat and see what your brand looks like right now and what it could look like, 12 months from now. Because I guarantee if you focused a little time and effort into SXO and potentially SEO, but there's always other strategies out there that might be right for you. I guarantee the difference will be night and day. So excited, man! Excited about the future. Excited about all the plans the team has in place.
Well, and I'm pumped, and for anyone listening, just to I guess give you a little bit of an idea of what we're talking about. We're transitioning away from just doing these, a la carte services and whatever a customer comes in and asks for. Because the reality is, I remember this in personal training, like people may want a thing, but our goal as a small business growth agency is to give you what you need. And I've had just way too many people over the years. We talked about this the other day. They think that, I just need SEO to grow my business. And it's like, well, can you wait this period of time and make this investment in order to start seeing that return? Well, no. All right. Well, then what you really need is this right now, if you need that instant gratification. But again, I think one of the coolest things about what we're about to go do is, what I was doing years ago, asking businesses to give us the keys to the castle as far as marketing. And we are going to completely revamp websites or build them from the ground up with really highly converting content and pages. Sprinkle in SEXO or SEXO, on top of all that. But then we're going to run really, really great ad campaigns that have this really awesome, like personal touch branded stuff that is going to be carried across every platform and every page. So it feels like that these businesses actually have an entire marketing department inside of their company. And I'm talking like videographer, an SEO, a Facebook ad specialist, a Google ad specialist, a web designer, a fractional CMO, like everything that you would want for less than the cost of one of those employees, which is going to be a game changer. Now, the reality is it's only going to be great for people who actually really want to grow their business. If you just want to flirt with the idea, then that's not for you. But if you're able to make the investment and you really want to grow something, having one organization that's really great at it, taking over all of those things, and giving you one exceptional point of contact that is there to help you get to those goals, it makes your life a hell of a lot easier and you get there a hell of a lot faster.
Couldn't have said it better myself, man. And there's just one last thing that I want to touch on just because you brought it up, which is businesses who are considering hiring their own internal marketing manager or someone to bring in house where they can be with the rest of their team. And I think it's great. I think that's always the stage that a business owner should get to, but it's not the first step. I think hiring an outside marketing agency is always the best first step because, like you said, you get more bright minds in many different areas that can work all together as opposed to just reliant on one person. And most of the time, let's say the marketing manager that you bring in, their salary is probably going to be as much, if not more, than hiring an entire external marketing team. And B, if you do hire a marketing manager in-house, there's no way they can do everything on their own. So the chances of them, hiring outside help after you've already brought them in is extremely high. So now you're paying not only just a salary, but then you're paying for external help as well when you could have just done that in the beginning. So
Correct.
Any business owner that's thinking about it, like I would think twice about hiring a internal marketing manager or someone internally, unless you're crushing it. You've done marketing for a while and it's working, then yeah, bring someone in-house. But majority of the time, I think hiring an external partner is always the best way to go.
Yeah. And I would challenge anyone that's looking to bring a digital marketing manager in, a marketing coordinator, whatever you want to call it, because I have made this mistake years ago before we had an agency. Every member of the team should have an output of 3 to 5x or greater. And if you can't quantify their efforts at all, or if they don't have a skill set that is going to translate to revenue, you probably don't need them. And we've had a lot of interactions with local businesses where the first point of contact you've had, or I've had, Blake, is their marketing manager. And then you sit down and have a conversation with them, once they're interested in what we're doing. And it's like, hey, what do you actually do for the business since you're looking to outsource everything? Like, just kind of, I help edit, some pages on the site. And I pay attention to the data and stuff as it comes in, and I post our Facebook stuff. That's a super expensive person that is not providing a lot of revenue generation. So going back to what I stated a minute ago, literally to get all of the things that I mentioned for probably less than the cost of that person, and to have access to, obviously, you, Blake, myself, and Jarvis, our digital marketing manager, and the bright minds that are here, it's going to be unheard of and something that, you're not going to find anywhere else. So, and then you back that with if we don't do a great job, we work for free. The only thing you have to lose is a little bit of time. So
it's a big statement, man. But yeah, I think our team delivers, and that's why we can offer something like that. But great stuff today, man. I am pumped. Those of you listening, we appreciate, you guys tuning in once again to Life by the Horns. Blake and Dustin, always here for you guys. If you could follow, share, and subscribe, we'd greatly appreciate it. And again, if there's any topics or anything that you guys want to hear more about in the marketing space or sales space, whatever it might be, please send those ideas through. We'd love to hear from you. But again, thanks for tuning in.
And don't forget, at Best Life Group, we put the X in SEO.
Yeah.
See you guys.
SXO, baby.
Yeah, let's see how you do under pressure. Yeah, I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Yeah, ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I get to the paper, boy. Extra, extra.